My name is Andy, and this is the most magical podcast on earth. When I'm not on holiday at Walt Disney World, I'm planning a holiday to Disney. And when I'm not planning a holiday to Disney, I'm talking about Disney, with other UK fans like me who make the trip to Orlando and the House of the Mouse. So whether you're a parks professional or a Florida first-timer, this is the podcast for you. Each episode, I'll be chatting to other Disney superfans to share memories of their magical times, answering your Walt Disney World questions, getting you all the latest news from the parks, and finding out what's happening right now in Orlando. So get your ears on as we take you to the most magical place on earth. This is the most magical podcast on earth, part of the Secret Recordings Network. We are here with brand new episodes every other week. So make sure you subscribe however you're listening, with the Apple or Spotify. Hit that subscribe button, and then when there's a new episode, it'll just land and you can listen to it. We're going to be chatting to Sophie on this episode about all things Walt Disney World and Disney parks. And we've got your questions as well. If you want to get in touch, you can send me a message on X and Instagram and on TikTok. We are at PodMagical. It's where we are on the socials. Give us a like, give us a follow. Any questions? Let me know. This one has come through from Geraldine, who says, Tony's on Main Street. Is it possible to get a table to sit outside to watch the parade? Is it a separate booking? Do they have a special event for it? No, they haven't. They should really. Imagine if they did a little dessert party in the afternoon where they block out the terrace and you can sit and have a few desserts and watch the parade. That'd be great. They haven't, but I mean, you can sit there and watch the parade. It's just a matter of timing, really. So Tony's on Main Street. I would say the parade's at 3 o'clock. Then you would book your table for 2:30. So like half an hour before the parade starts, because obviously the parade starts over at Frontierland. So it takes about 15-20 minutes to get up around and then to Main Street. But really, it's potluck. You just have to be very nice and ask, is it possible for a table outside? I'm saying, 30 minutes before the parade, because that then gives you about 45-50 minutes before it would come round there. So, you've just got to really hope for the best. But, I mean, if you can sit out there, watch the parade, maybe a glass of Prosecco and some nice Italian food, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? If you've ever done it, let me know. At PodMagical. Share your knowledge. Right now, let's catch up with Sophie, shall we? Welcome to the most magical podcast on earth, Sophie.
Hiya, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And we have a magical connection because on your Instagram account, you are Most Magical Guides.
Yes, which I think is amazing. We are both the most magical, which is wonderful.
We are sharing the magic today on the
Yes.
podcast. So what is it that you love about Disney World and Disneyland Paris and all the Disney parks? What's got you hooked, Sophie?
I think it's just the feeling. Like, you don't get it anywhere else. And I think there's such a sense of joy and optimism, but also that kind of message of like, anything you dream you can do. And you come away, and I always feel like I'm going to conquer the world. I feel so good when I leave, which I think
Take on anything.
Yes, exactly. And I think Walt Disney is literally the embodiment of that. So when you go there, you're like, I'm literally living his dream right now.
Yeah.
So I could do whatever I want, which is wonderful.
Fantastic. Now, the first time you went to Walt Disney, well, actually, the first time you went to Florida, you didn't go to Walt Disney World.
Sorry, we did. The first time we went to
Right.
Disney World, and I was 7, which was all of these years ago now. And it was so good. And you get so hooked because just like, especially when you're that age and you're like meeting the characters that you've seen in films and stuff, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And it's all exciting because there's all the rides. But we have been once to Florida and we didn't visit Disney World. And I'm like, I don't know how I survived.
How did that happen?
Well-
How did you even let that happen?
Well, I got vetoed because I was with family, and this is why now I do a lot of solo trips. Because they were like, oh, well, we've been to Disney World before. And I'm like, and?
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to go back. And they were like, oh, no, we're going to do other things. And I was like, excuse me?
Are there other things?
Yeah, exactly.
What other things are there to do?
And then because we had a car, we ended up going to Savannah, Georgia, which was wonderful. It was great. And I'm like, we didn't even stay in Florida, guys. We went to Florida. We didn't even stay in Florida.
So you landed in, Orlando?
So we were in Orlando. We did do Universal, and we went to NASA, and then we went to Savannah. And it was a lovely trip, but I was just like, I can't believe we're in Disney World. We're not in Disney World.
Yeah.
We're in Florida. We haven't gone to Disney World.
So it's there on the door, and you're just like,
I
and
know.
you land at MCO, and there's like the shops and everything, and you go,
Exactly. And
well,
it was
I'm the
terrible
key.
because it was the year that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train had opened.
Oh, God,
So everywhere on like UK telly, they were like, "Come to Disney World to go on the ride," and I'm like, "Don't tell me about it, don't."
don't. So now you've
Yes.
like cast off your family. You don't talk to
Yeah, exactly that. And I'm like, "Nope, you've lost your Disney World privileges."
them. So how many times have you been on your own?
So I think I've been 3 times, I think, which is it's just so much fun. And I do a lot of solo travel anyway. When I go to Disneyland Paris, it's nearly almost always solo trips, and I've been to America and all over Europe solo. So I've always loved solo traveling. And I actually think Disney World or any of the Disney parks are fantastic if you're curious about solo travel,
Yeah,
because there's so much to do that you never have a moment to think about you're on your own, because it's just jam packed and everyone's so friendly, which is lovely.
yeah. Because people would be worried about going somewhere on their own, but Disney parks, I would say,
Yes,
are the ideal place to go on your own because you make so many friends, and you're in the queue for a ride. People are just chatting anyway. You can quite
it's
often go
so
with other
true.
people and end up talking to somebody else anyway.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And I love that they're like super safe and like we said, because the atmosphere is so nice. It's just like the perfect place to go solo.
Because my only concern would be
Yeah.
restaurants, going to restaurants on my own. Everything
Yes.
else, I'm good. I can single rider.
Yep.
I'm happy to do what I want when I want in my time. But restaurants would be the one thing that I wouldn't be like, oh, am I okay just sitting here on my own?
Yes, I think that is the biggest hurdle for people. And I think what is really good is I found that because everyone's so busy with their holidays, they don't really notice. But what is really nice is the staff tend to go above and beyond to make you feel like welcome, which is so nice. And that's the time I'm like, right, I'll quickly go on social media. I've got time now.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah. You
Or
can
like
share your
catch up.
stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Catch up with home. Just be like, oh, I'm just checking in. Now I found a moment to remember that there's people at home.
Yeah.
I'll
The ones
quickly.
that didn't want to come to Disney World last
Yeah,
time.
exactly. Exactly that.
Just by the way, you didn't want to come. Just have a look at what you're missing now. Let me just fill you in on what I've been doing over the last few days.
It's so true. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy doing amazing things. I've only just now found the time.
Have you got a particular favourite memory or a favourite moment, something that's happened in Disney World or Paris or anywhere?
I actually think it was on my last trip to Disney World, and I met up with some friends, and we were like, we're going to go to Ogas Cantina. So we went to Galaxy's Edge. There was it said it was a 30-minute wait for Rise of the Resistance. It was like a walk on. Then we went to Ogas Cantina, and we were the last booking of the day. And when we left, we had the entire park to ourselves, including Galaxy's Edge. So we had
I
the
love
most
that.
amazing photographs. And the cast members were so nice because I was thinking, like, oh, we'll get to walk out of the park and it'll be cool because we're the only people. But they were like, oh no, take photos. And like, they really wanted you to have that experience. And I've
Yeah.
never been in a Disney park where we were the only people there. And it was amazing.
That is such a great tip. I've done that before because
Yes.
I think it was Molly from Mammoth
Yes.
Club who said like if you book like the park closes at 9, but you can still get a reservation at August to like 9:45. So by the time you come out,
Yes.
like and like it's still as it would be that like the lights are on and the sounds and everything, but there's just nobody there.
It's amazing. And like you said, I think it's such a top tip because I think it's everyone thinks like if it's 9 o'clock, that I assumed way back when that's when the park's shutting. But it's
Yeah.
like, oh no. There's still lots going on, which is amazing.
Because obviously the rides are still open because the
Yes.
queue for the rides will close at say 9, but
Yes.
the rides will still operate until everybody's been on. So why not Ogre's Cantina and things?
Exactly. And it's just so cool, isn't it? And that's a really nice way to end the night anyway. Like have a little drink with your friends or and like soak up the atmosphere. I love Oga's Cantina. Look, I'm
Yeah.
obsessed.
I've done that as well at Epcot, where we managed to get the holy grail of the fireworks
Oh my God.
dinner at Rose and Crown,
Oh my God, incredible.
and obviously like the fireworks will finish and everybody will start making their way out. But if you just like kind of hang on for a little bit and
Yes.
finish your drink, that's probably unlimited. They won't give you any more, but you can nurse that for a while and let
Yes.
people go out of the parks, and then you're walking out of the parks and you can walk around the lagoon and it's like there's nobody there. It's brilliant.
It's the best, isn't it? Because like you say, it's such a unique experience, but also it's like just beneficial in general because not only are you getting the amazing like photographs and stuff, the transport is quieting down. Like everything is much better if you just wait.
Yeah, especially if you're on like the Skyliner, that
Yes.
line will go down because they're not going to shut it down until everybody's gone. So yeah, let them go.
Yes, exactly. And then you're having this awesome experience that like very few people get. And then you just walk onto the transport, which is awesome.
What are the top tips have you got, Sophie? You sound like you've got quite a few.
Oh, I'm obsessed. This is the thing. Like, I started the channel because I was just when I planned my own trips, it was like it's like a serial killer's lair with like charts and like lists and everything. Like and I literally spent over the years like thousands of hours doing research and making documents. And I was like, I should just tell other people this stuff.
Yeah,
And
because you want people to have the same time that you have. You want people to enjoy it just as much as you. So I'm happy to just to share everything.
exactly that. And I think the thing that I always say is the best is a kind of do a little bit of research in the things that are most important to your trip. So say for example, like I think if you over plan, it can take the magic out of a trip because when you're having to constantly clock watch and like say something unexpected happens, it can really throw you and then it's just you're not enjoying it. Whereas I think if you have a little bit of structure, say you go, okay, we're going to go to Magic Kingdom and we want to use multipass. I always think even if you just research how to get the most out of multipass and you don't do any other research, like you're going to have such a better day because of it. Or
Yeah.
like if you wanted to do dining, okay, let's look into like where the best food is or like which is the best character dining meal. And just having like that little bit of research, the difference it makes to your trip is so big.
So do you use the lightning lanes and do you pay for the extras?
Yes, look, I am obsessed with like not queuing for very long. And I also have like a problem with my foot. So it's kind of like a two-pronged thing of like if I can queue less and then my foot doesn't hurt, it's perfect. And I actually really like multipass. I do think that because I also visit in the quiet season, like it is easier to get multipass reservations
Yeah.
compared to like high season. But I've always found it amazing. Like I've always got everything I've wanted, and it makes such a difference in the queue time. And it's that thing of like it is an extra expense, but I don't get it every day of the trip. And it's kind of like Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, I think it's really beneficial for. And you could get it for one day and kind of do everything included in multipass in one day if you kind of strategize, which is amazing.
It's much better now as well that it's gone like back to in a way the old fast pass system where you can book 3 in advance.
Yes.
That's much more beneficial.
It's so true, isn't it? Because it's just nice to know, like, let's get like 3 of our top priorities and then whatever else we get is amazing.
So what 3 would you go for then?
Oh, it's so hard. Like, I think when I go to someone like Hollywood Studios, Slinky Dog is always number 1 because it will go the quickest. So I'm like, right, getting on that. And I think it's such a cute little ride as well. And
Day or night though, Sophie?
oh, this is the problem because I love that the rides are so different in the day and night.
Yeah.
And I actually haven't done Slinky at night yet because I always end up booking it for like first thing in the morning so I can book another reservation.
Yeah,
So
that's the plan.
I definitely feel like next time I need to go on it at night, but maybe like we were saying earlier, go on it just before the queue closes and hopefully it'll be a bit of a shorter queue. Because I'm like, I can't believe I haven't done it at night.
Yeah, I've done that as well. I've run out
Yes.
of Fantasmic, I think, and run on to. Oh no! I tell you what I did. I ran out of Epcot.
Yeah.
After the fireworks, Hollywood Studios was still open. We managed to get on the Slinky Dog, and then straight from Slinky Dog straight to the 9:30 Fantasmic, even though the park closed at 9.
That is literally like God tier, like amazing night at Disney.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Without spending any money.
Yeah, exactly. That's so good. Like, yeah, I absolutely love it. And I think with the other rides, I think it just depends. Like, I will normally do, I don't know. It's hard to pick. I do think something like Toy Story Mania is a good pick because that does get like very long queues. And it's good that I go solo because when I'm on that ride, I have no friends anymore because I am here to win. And like even though I don't know the other people, I'm determined to beat them.
Yeah, even though I don't know you,
Yeah,
I'm going to beat you.
exactly. And it's absolutely unhinged. But I'm like, I love that ride so much, and I do love Tower of Terror. Like it's just such a fun ride. You can't not go on it, and I love everything spooky. So it's like the best combination of everything.
As we're talking about Hollywood Studios, what are your thoughts on the changes that are happening there? Or your thoughts about Muppet Courtyard going and Rock and Roller Coaster becoming Dr. Teeth?
Yes, it's such a it's difficult because I love the Muppets, and I actually wish Disney would do more with the Muppets.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and do you know what I think? I think everyone's kind of a bit over the live action remakes. However, Muppet versions, people would love. I would be obsessed
Oh,
with that.
yeah.
So I'm kind of sad to see it go. I do think Monsters Inc. Land looks amazing. So I think it will be a good replacement. I think it would be nicer if there was an expansion rather than like a retheming. Like I am glad that they are moving the Muppets. They're like, we're not going to totally get rid of them, guys.
But let's have more. Let's have more Muppets.
Yes,
Do you know what I think they could do? I think, where, well, two things first.
yes,
Star Wars, whatever it's called, where you do the meet and greet.
yep,
Waste
yes,
of space. Waste of space.
100%.
Why didn't you just put it there and keep
That's what
everything else
I
as it was?
thought. I
Yeah.
genuinely thought that's where it was going to go because I was like you, okay, that's sometimes not even open, and
Yeah.
you could move that just to Galaxy's Edge where you have Star Wars, and I thought that was the perfect option. But they're
Yeah,
like,
just do that.
no, just
Or do something else with that area. I remember the very
yes,
first time I went to MGM Studios, and it was
yes.
you used to walk through, and you said they were making Lilo and Stitch. I actually walked past, and they go,
Oh
"Oh,
my
this is
god,
it's a new cartoon new animation that we're making." And I didn't realize at the time like what it was going to be. But yeah,
yes,
my
that's
second thought
incredible.
with the Muppet 3D film,
Yes,
over at Epcot. Where
yes,
they've got it used to be Honey I Shrunk the Audience, and they
yes,
also showed
yes,
the Michael Jackson one, and
yes,
now is it Pixar film?
yes. The short film
On
festival.
Yeah, so they got that 3D theatre
I
there
know. Oh
on
my
a
god.
rotating scheme. Have bring back like the Muppets and Honey I Shrunk the Audience, like
Oh
all
my
the old
god.
three. Just put it in there, like
That is
on a
the way to do
rotation.
it
Yeah,
because people would love that, and
we would
like,
love that. So
yeah, exactly. Like we're like, can we specifically have this?
yeah, just me and you.
But that's the thing, because and also I think it's so sad that because it was kind of Jim Henson's legacy project, I'm like, don't ruin it. You've got to have it somewhere. Like,
Yeah, it's
guys,
got to be somewhere. It's
you
got to
can't
be
ruin
somewhere.
his legacy. So I am wondering if in the long run, once Villains Land opens in Magic Kingdom, if the new Villains show will change to a Muppet show, which I think would be amazing.
That
And
would be interesting. Yeah, I also heard
yes.
rumours that years ago, originally there was going to be a Muppets themed dining show. So where
Oh
you'd
my
watch the
god.
Muppets and you'd have dinner. And so that space there would be good
That
for
would
us.
be so cool. I would love that because I used
We
to
would love that.
love it. Yeah, exactly. In Magic Kingdom, when they used to have next to Hall of Presidents, the Muppets doing like American history, and I'm like,
Yeah,
when that went, I was so sad, and I'm like, just don't take them away again. Just bring them
yeah. And
somewhere
there's
else.
obviously a love for the Muppets because there's all Muppets
Yes.
merchandise all the time. And then at Jollywood Nights, Kermit and Piggy are
Oh
out
my
there
god.
doing the show.
Yes.
So, people, they know that people love the Muppets. So let's have more Muppets.
Exactly that. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Not less, more.
More Muppets.
The opposite. Exactly that.
Back with Sophie very soon. Let's just do a very, very quick news update from things that have been happening and announced from Walt Disney World. Most of the news comes from last week, actually. We've been waiting for ages for news about this year's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party at the Magic Kingdom. The dates have been confirmed and the tickets are now on sale. August the 15th will be the first date for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. There's 3 or 4 a night, and the last one will be on October the 31st, on actual Halloween night. Now, the price, if you want to go on Halloween night, the top price for a ticket is $229 plus tax. Obviously, the earlier you go in the season, if you're going to early August, September, there will be a little bit cheaper than that. And if you are a DVC member, August and September, you've got, I think it's like $10 off a ticket for DVC members and annual pass holders, actually. Tickets for that are now on sale. A lot of the same things are returning. There's trick-or-treating. There's the parade, there's the fireworks, there's character meets. There's been a video that was popped up of Jack and Sally. They look very different. They've had a bit of a makeover. Yeah. Also, we've got news about this year's Food and Wine Festival, which will be running from Epcot from the 28th of August. That goes through till November the 22nd. Emil's Fromage Montage, Remy's Hide and Squeak Scavenger Hunt, the Eat to the Beat concert series, they will all be back. Living with the Land gets a food and wine themed overlay as well for that one. So there's the latest. Just a couple of announcements about Halloween and the Food and Wine Festival from Disney World. Anything else between now and the next podcast? We'll let you know on the socials at PodMagical. We have Sophie with us on this episode of the podcast. Let's talk about some of your favourite Walt Disney World things. Let's start with your favourite attraction.
I think this is so difficult because there's obviously classics that I love, but I actually think my favourite to go on is Rise of the Resistance, just because it doesn't even feel like a ride. I feel like I'm in Star Wars for 25 minutes and it's thrilling.
Yeah.
And it never gets any less, like, every time my mind's blown, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Like the scale of it, and like when you walk out and see all those stormtroopers, it's just still so impressive.
It is walking into a film, isn't it? That's the best way to describe that.
Yes.
It's the attraction on the next level. What about your favourite place to eat? Favourite restaurants? Or could be quick service?
Oh, this is so good. Last time I went to Shikisai in Epcot, and I love Japanese food, and it was unreal. It was so good. And I had the garden tomato salad. Up until a few years ago, I didn't even like tomatoes. I ate a whole tomato, gobbled that right up. It was so
Well done.
good that even if you don't like something, you're going to love it there.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those restaurants that people don't really talk about so much. It's almost like a hidden gem. And I'm like, it's so good. So if you like Japanese food, it's an absolute must. The whole time you're there, there's like, it's really ceremonial as well. And the staff are so friendly, like it's incredible. And it's one of those restaurants that they have like lots of windows. So if you're there at the right time, you get to see the fireworks.
Yeah, I have been there actually, and it was about an hour before the fireworks, and we're like, we can't really drag this out anymore because we finished, and it's like an hour. They're wanting us out. Favorite places to stay? Favorite hotels, resorts?
Oh, it's so difficult because I typically will stay at a value resort because I'm a solo traveller, so it's the most affordable. But my dream resort, I would love to either stay at the Polynesian or Wilderness Lodge. I'm obsessed with visiting them. I think they're so stunning. But I do have to say, I think the value resorts are really good. I don't think there's any bad resorts at Disney World. I think they do them really, really well. And the value resorts have everything you need. I do love that they have a bit more in-your-face theming. I do find it sad that Disney World are kind of stripping the theming back. Because I'm like, if I want to just stay at Hilton, I'd stay at Hilton. I want to look like, when I step into the room, I want it to look like I am in a Disney movie. Like, I want it all.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's something that the Asian parks do really, really well. Like the Toy Story Hotel, like unbelievable. And I'm like, let's bring that back here.
Have you done the Asian parks?
There's some resorts No, I am desperate to visit. I am so desperate. The only reason I haven't is because I'm vegan. They don't really have many options. And people are like, oh, you just have to bring all your food with you. And I'm like, I just want to eat their food, though, because it looks so cute.
In terms of Disney World, vegan options, what are your favourite things to eat?
Oh my God, there's so many good options. And like Disney World is next level incredible because there's pretty much options everywhere. And then if there's something that needs modifying, they will do it. Like they're amazing. But I love something I think is really cool is at Sebastians Bistro. You get to have the exact same meal as everyone else, but just vegan options. I can have the exact same meal, which I think is really amazing. And the food there is unreal as well. It's so good.
Yeah, we are literally just talking about this on the last podcast with another vegan guest. So yeah, Sebastian's Bistro is getting,
I love that.
It's getting the praise it deserves over the last few episodes.
Good. Yes, and that dessert is unreal. And that's the thing. The first time I went there, I made the mistake of eating too much, and then I couldn't finish the dessert, and I was so sad. So this time I was like, okay, we've got to be like reserved with the other food, but it's just so tasty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need it all. And I love also Sartuli Canteen. Like for quick service, that's unreal. And I love that it's a really unique option as well. Because if you're eating at the quick service places, sometimes there can be a lot of like burgers and stuff, which is great because if you're at a theme park, that's what you expect and you want. But when you're there for like a longer period of time, like we visit, you're like, okay, I can't have another burger.
Yeah, I don't want any more.
Sartuli Canteen is exactly that. And just the options there are so tasty.
I think Sartuli Canteen, that was the quick service that changed a lot of things. As soon as Pandora opened and the food there and people went, oh, this is really good and it's different, I think it woke them up to going, actually, there's more we can do, because obviously you got Docking Bay 7 that came after that.
Yes.
And I think a lot of other quick service, they just flipped, and I think they opened their eyes to, you know, how they can probably monetize food a little bit more.
That's so true, because I think they probably were a bit cautious before of like, people probably expect this type of theme park fare. Let's just stick with that. But like you say, when they were like, let's do something a bit more experimental, and then people were like, we love this. They're like, oh my God. And I actually now think like Pandora and Galaxy's Edge have some of the best quick service food in the whole of Disney World.
Yeah, totally. And if you're not vegan or you don't want plant-based, try the plant-based stuff anyway, because, open your eyes.
Yeah, no, it's funny, isn't it? Because sometimes the options can be like so good, and especially like I hear a lot of people they'll go, "Oh, I'm just dying to eat a vegetable," because it's been like 12 days without a vegetable. And I think sometimes with the vegan options, you do get a bit more variety. With like because they will swap things out for vegetables, and I'm like, oh my god, and they do like really interesting things. So I'm like, come through, and I think that's nice that they haven't just kind of been like, because some places they'll be like, here's a salad for you, and you go, okay, that's nice, but when it's every day, you're like, I'd like something else, please. Whereas Disney World are really good at like, let's give you interesting things.
Yeah, totally. As you've been going for quite a few years, is there anything that is no longer at Disney World that you miss? You think, they shouldn't have got rid of that?
I didn't feel very Disney, but I loved the alien encounter. It was the most terrifying thing they've ever had in any Disney park. Did you get to experience that?
I did, yeah. Only ever once. I experienced that once, and then the Stitch encounter once, and then
I loved it. It was so frightening, but I just thought, and it was a really cool use of technology, and I think even now it would still be as impressive. Because obviously, like, when you're just sitting there and you don't know what's going to happen, and then you hear like something whisper in your ear or like brush past you, I thought it was so cool.
I wonder what is in there now, because it's been empty for years.
Yes, that's so true, isn't it? Because you're like, we have to do something with that
it's
space.
Empty space. Stop knocking things down when you've got an empty space there.
That's so
Muppets in
true,
there.
isn't it? Yeah, exactly. That would be actually really, really fun if even where it's kind of like they did a storyline where you kind of saw them doing a show or something, and then the lights went out.
Power went out.
Then, yes, and then like you'd hear someone talking in your ear. I think that'd be really cool.
Why are we not Imagineers, Sophie? Because we have sorted out so many things on this episode.
Exactly that. This is something that I always say to people that I think is really interesting. Is people who are huge enthusiasts for the parks kind of they like do end up having amazing ideas. I think it's just because we love it so much and we know what we'd like to see. And we're like, please just like copy our ideas. You can have them for free.
I'm not trademarking this. It's not copyright.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy for you to make it. It's good.
Exactly that. It'd be so good.
Do you venture out anywhere else when you go to Orlando? Obviously, Universal, SeaWorld, that kind of thing.
So I go to Universal. I am now obsessed with Halloween Horror Nights. I went last year for the first time, and it was really hard for it to not become a core part of my personality because I love it so much. But I love going to like the outlets. I really love going to the Kennedy Space Center, and I think it's one of those things that I wanted to go, and then my family were like, "Oh God, this is going to be not so interesting." But because they didn't let me go to Disney, they had to let me go there. And they all loved it. And you don't have to have any interest in space whatsoever for it to be an amazing day out. Although it could have been my last day out in America because I listened to the sat nav. And the sat-nav took me to the federal government part of NASA. And we were driving around, and then the security came up to us and they were like, what are you doing? Because we were like invaders. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. So don't listen to the sat-nav.
No.
Just get to the normal part.
So do you always drive when you go over to Orlando?
I do love to. And it's one of those things that once I did it, you're like, oh, I can't go back now.
Okay.
And it's just the freedom to kind of go wherever you want, whenever you want. And even stuff like when I'm staying on site at Disney, it's still really nice because you're a 15-minute drive away from anywhere on site at Disney. So when you want to have your like afternoon break, which I think is a top tip, always do the afternoon break. I could just pop back 15 minutes and it's easy. Whereas like if we're on the transport, it's a little bit more difficult because it takes a little bit more time, a little more planning.
Yeah.
But I'm obsessed with, like, if I just want to go to the shop, I can pop out to, like, Walmart or something, which I do think it's hilarious that, like, that is a core part of British people visiting America, is I'm going to a supermarket. But they're so good.
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly that. I don't think anyone is going, all right, I'm going to England, I've really got to go Asda. I don't think that happens the other way around, but American supermarkets are so fun.
Well, I've got some friends coming over from Orlando later on this year, and I think I should take them to an Asda. They're definitely going to a Greggs.
Exactly.
They're definitely having a Greggs.
They have to. Yeah, totally. Exactly. They can't miss that.
So I'm going to give you your ultimate ideal day at Walt Disney World.
Yes.
So you've got, well, you can stay where you want, do what you want. This is not your only day on the trip, but you're making your perfect day. Where would you stay? What would you eat? Where would you go? What would you do?
So I think I would stay at the Polynesian just because it's one of my dream resorts. I think it's beautiful. I think it's really lovely of an evening to be able to sit on the beach, see the fireworks, stuff like that. But also, it's convenient for later on. So I'm going to start my day there. I would do an Ohana breakfast because I love the food, but I have a very controversial opinion. I
We
don't
haven't
like
discussed
Stitch.
this, but go on.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Stitch. I
Why
don't
don't you
like
like
him.
Stitch? Obviously, you're not going to see the new film then.
Well, no, and this is the thing. I think I saw the film and I found him a little bit irritating, just marginally. I was like, he's not for me. However, I think the problem is because particularly Disneyland Paris, there is so much Stitch that I can't get away from him. So it's just building and building and building my dislike of him.
He's everywhere.
Exactly, and it started to like happen in Disney World as well. So like, I love the Tower of Terror. I love the theming. I love the merch. I love everything spooky. Went there. Every piece of merch for Tower of Terror had Stitch on it.
Oh, right.
And I'm like, why? Why is he invading here? What's happening? And then I was like, no, I can't buy any of this merch. And so it's just over the years, my dislikes growing.
Oh dear. Who was your favourite character then? Who's your favourite character to meet?
Oh, it's so hard. I do love the villains. I love Dr. Facilier. I think he's so cool. I think he's very, very fun. I'm really hoping that there's some representation of him in this new villain show. I was expecting to see him in Tiana's Bio Adventure, and I was very sad when he wasn't. Although having ridden the ride, it wouldn't have made sense to have him in it.
Yeah, it's too jolly.
Yes, exactly. But I was like, as soon as they announced it, and I was like, when you're going up the hill and he's not going, oh, you're ready, I was like, I won't cope. And then he isn't, but I have coped.
You got through it.
So it's all good.
Anyway, back to your day.
Yeah, exactly. I might do an Ohana breakfast just because I do love it, and you get a spectacular view. It's really good food, and we'll just say hello to Stitch and be cordial towards him. But then I think I'd actually go to Hollywood Studios for the morning. I'd get multi-pass so I could get on all of the rides quickly. It'll be fantastic. I've got to go into Galaxy's Edge. I've got to try and find some characters to meet because I absolutely love that they're roaming in that land. I think it makes it feel so alive. Yeah. It's so incredible. I think I'd probably get lunch either in Ronto Roasters or Woody's Lunchbox because I love both of them. I think they're great quick service locations. And then for the evening, I would hop back to Magic Kingdom. Rides at night, like you say, is such a different experience, and I absolutely love going on. Like Tron at night is top tier. Like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at night feels like you're going 3 times faster. I absolutely love that. And then I would see Happily Ever After from I did a dessert party last time actually, and that was incredible because the view was amazing.
The one where you stand in the middle rather than the one where you sit at the side.
Yeah. Yes, and it actually worked out really well because I did the post party, so I got to go to the area. I got there like an hour and a half early and just sat on the grass in the sun. It was lovely. People were having drinks and food. Then we got a great view of the show, and then had our desserts whilst everyone else was leaving the park. So it was great because you were just chowing down. Yeah, exactly. And then I think one of the convenient things about staying at the Polynesian is it's much easier to get back to at the end of the evening as well. Exactly. You're not having to think, oh gosh, how am I getting away from Magic Kingdom Island? Which is the one downside at the end after Happily Ever After.
Yeah.
But I'm obsessed with Happily Ever After. I watch it on YouTube once a week. It's ridiculous.
So you're glad they brought it back?
Oh, obsessed. It's my favourite ever fireworks show. I cry every single time I watch it. Even on YouTube, I'll cry. It's ridiculous. I'm like, it does something to me. But I just think it's the perfect combination of everything.
You need to go to Hong Kong because I really like there.
Oh my god. That sounds amazing.
Live the moment, love the memory, or whatever it's called. But that gave me the feel.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, really. And that's the thing. I always say to people, this is how I judge a show. If I cry, I think it's a good show, which I know sounds nuts. But if I've seen a fireworks show and it's made me feel nothing, I'm like, oh, that's not good. I think the best way to end a day at Disney is cry.
See Fantasmic? That still gets me. When they come around at the end.
It's so good. And it's the music as well. I'm very much a music will make me cry.
Oh yeah.
And the swelling music, I'm like, oh my god, I can't go. It's so good. But yeah, if I'm not ending the day crying,
then it's not been a good day.
Yes.
So when is your next trip? Anything planned?
So at the moment, I'd love to get back to Disney World. I don't know when that will happen because I've basically launched my own little small business, all to do with Disney. So
Give it a plug.
it's
Give it a plug while you're
building
here.
up. Yes. So basically, I help people plan their trips. So I do a Disney World dining reservation booking service. So I will book for you, which is handy if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you're not available, because that is the one downside. A lot of people are at work and they're like, can't get away to book their dining. So I take all the stress out and I use all of the tips and tricks that I know of how to get those hard to get reservations, which is such a joy. I love doing it. And I do Zoom calls with people to help them plan out their trips. And it's just the best, most joyful thing you can do.
Yeah, because when they come back and they've had an amazing time,
yes,
it makes you just feel
that's
good.
so nice. Exactly, because people will, or even when they're there, they'll be sending me like videos and photos, and it's so lovely to see them having the best time. And it's just, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like the reason we do what we do is when you have all that knowledge and you know how much it benefits your trips, you just want to share it with people so that they can have amazing times.
There's nothing worse than somebody coming back and they go, well, we only did 2 parks. And we had to
Yes,
queue for
exactly.
everything. And like, oh, well, you didn't do it right. You were there for 2 weeks and you spent 4 days just sitting by a pool. What are you doing?
I know. And that's actually how I ended up starting my channel, because when I was there in 2018, we met a lovely couple who were on their honeymoon. So they'd come over from the UK and they were so excited to be there. They'd never been to Disney World. But then they were saying like, oh, we queued 3 hours for this ride. And then all of the restaurants we wanted to dine in, we walked up and there are no reservations, obviously. And I was just thinking, oh, it's such a shame because they're going for such a momentous occasion and they're enjoying themselves, but I just know how much they're missing out on. So I was like, let's just get the tips out there to people, because then, you know, like we were saying earlier, even if you have like 10% more knowledge, it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, totally. So what's your channel? Where can we find you?
Yeah, so it's called Most Magical Guides. So I have a YouTube, I've got Instagram, TikTok, and then I have a website, which is mostmagicalguides.com, and that's where I have all of my services, and I do like planning templates and everything to kind of make it a bit easier to go and visit the Disney parks, particularly Disney World, because you need so much more planning there than other Disney
say
parks.
that. Although I'll say my next stop on my trip is going to be Tokyo, where that planning, when you've got to set an alarm for 1 o'clock in the morning to make a dining reservation, that you have to,
it's a lot, isn't it?
You have to set an alarm to get a hotel reservation. It's like, I am not prepared for what Tokyo is going to be. But more about that on the next podcast.
Yes, yeah, I'm so desperate to listen to this, because I think it's just such an interesting, because I love the planning part of a Disney trip, but like you say, Tokyo is so unlike anything we're used to. If you're used to the European or American parks, so I need to know all these details, so I'm tuning in.
Completely separate and different to Hong Kong, where I came back from a few months ago, where you can just turn up at like 10 o'clock in the morning when the park opens, and then just,
oh my god, that's lovely,
all day just walk on rides, and it's just very, very different. But anyway,
I think that's what's really nice about the Disney parks. I always say this, that I think one of the things I love is that they all feel familiar, but all very distinctly different. And I do love that there are parks it's much easier to visit. And like, I always think, not that I'm trying to pressurize people, but I'm like, if you've been to Disney World and you'd like to go back, but maybe the cost is getting too prohibitive because it is getting crazy to visit, I'm like, go to Disneyland in California.
Yeah.
And it's such a different experience. I think it's like the best hybrid between Disney World and Disneyland Paris. And I'm like, not trying to brainwash is too strong a word, but I really strongly encourage people. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, it's much more affordable than you would think, especially if you're used to Disney World. But it's like way more relaxed, way more chilled out. You don't need to do as much planning. I love that you can walk between the parks, but then it's also so special because you've got those roaming characters and all the history, and I'm just like obsessed with it.
Same but different. So meanwhile, you haven't got anything planned for yourself?
So I am going to Disneyland Paris. I'm going in 2 weeks' time, which is good. And then I'm gonna go again for Halloween and Christmas, which will be nice to kind of. I love the seasons at the Disney parks, so I always love to have like a little visit over there and see how it's doing.
Yeah, that's something actually I wish that Walt Disney World would do more of. I know they've got, you know, the Halloween parties and the Christmas parties, and Halloween and Christmas are great, but like throughout the year, where all the parks have like different stage shows for different seasons, I wish we could have just a bit more of that in Florida.
No, it's so true, isn't it? Because that is something I love about Disneyland Paris, because, and one of the reasons it never gets boring to visit, because every year when they're doing something a bit different, which is so, or even like Disneyland, where they have like the nights where you have like Star Wars night or
the Pride night and everything. 90s
yes,
night.
exactly, and I'm like, it's so cool, and it would be amazing if Disney World did do a bit more of that.
maybe, as I say, if they're listening, there's a lot of tips for you, Bob, that we've put on this podcast.
Exactly.
Lovely chatting to you.
It's been amazing.
And
thank you so
we'll
much.
find you on the socials. Have a very magical day, Sophie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you once again to Sophie. Brilliant chat about all things Disney. If you are a huge Disney Parks fan like Sophie and you think, oh, this is how I would do my ideal day, let me know and then I could get you on the podcast. We'll sort out a time to get you on. At PodMagical, just send me a direct message and I'll sort out a time. We'll get you on the podcast one time over the next few months. If you're going to be going over to Walt Disney World soon, well, let's firstly talk about Epic Universe, because Universal's brand new theme park is now open. If you're going to be going to Orlando this particular weekend, it's going to be extremely busy because Monday, like here in the UK, is a bank holiday. It's Memorial Day weekend this weekend. And crowds-wise, this is kind of like the start of the summer crowds now. The summer crowds and the summer weather. Yeah, storm season is upon us, so it's going to be very hot and muggy with those early afternoon storms. So a bit of a tip really that people will say is if you're making plans for maybe lunch or indoor attractions, if you've got lightning lanes for particular attractions, make sure they're indoors around like early afternoon, so midday, 1-2 o'clock-ish. Try and make plans for indoors. So you might be able to dodge those afternoon showers. It's the last couple of weeks if you want to catch the Muppets in 3D at Hollywood Studios before all that goes to make way for the new Monsters Inc. land. Mama Melrose, the restaurant there, is already closed. May the 27th will be the brand new shows that are coming to Hollywood Studios. The brand new Villain show starts May the 27th. That is where the Cars show used to be. And of course, Little Mermaid is coming back. The brand new Little Mermaid show. Same location. Brand new show. Flower and Garden Festival at Epcot into its final week with live music. The Garden Rocks series continues. Not a lot of people that I have heard of apart from Don Felder, who is apparently a member of the Eagles. He'll be at Epcot 25th and 26th of May. Cool Kids Summer starts on the 27th of May. So expect to see more characters around the parks, more dance parties. There's going to be a dance party with Stitch at Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland. Goofy takes over Communicore Hall at Epcot, and that runs through till early September. So a lot of events, more for families and little kids to burn energy, because it's not just about big attractions. Let's not forget about it's a park for everyone. So there's a lot more things happening over summer. But that's what they're calling it. They're calling it Cool Kids Summer. Pound to dollar wise, we're looking at about 1.32, 1.33 at the minute, as I say. Weather wise, getting hot, high 20s, low 30s. Afternoon storms. And a top tip for this episode to finish off: if you are flying home, I know it's sad, we don't want to think about this, but a few days before your flight, check out MCO Reserve. If you're flying back from Orlando International Airport, I don't know, every time I fly back, the queues to get through security have just been ridiculous. But you can pre-book your spot to go through security. So rather than getting in that long queue, you can pre-book a time slot. You can even adjust your time as well. So look out for MCO Reserve. I'll put that on the socials. I'll put the link. It's flymco.com/airport-info/MCO-reserve is what you're looking for. It's even easy for me just to put the link on the socials. At PodMagical is where we are. Give us a like, give us a follow. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. We will have a very special episode in a couple of weeks' time with a pianist who used to work for Disney Cruise. He's got a massive love of Walt Disney World, but also a few stories and maybe a few songs on the old Joanna. In 2 weeks, that's the next podcast. Make sure to subscribe, then you won't miss it. Until then, please stand clear of the doors.